I'd like to start the meeting. Would everyone please rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Welcome, everyone. Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting, February 5, 2026. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Old Bridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment has been provided in accordance with the Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting. Also by prominently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, the date, the location, the agenda of this meeting, mailing such announcements at Home News and Tribune, filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk, and posting the agenda on the municipal website. Ms. Percelli, could we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mrs. Andrews? Here. Ms. Gomez?
Present.
Mr. Izzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here.
Ms. Testaverde?
Here.
Mr. Singh? Absent. Ms. Fernbach? Here. Chairman Sullivan?
Here.
Mr. Varga?
Here.
Ms. Savant? Here. Mr. McCarthy?
Here. Thank you. Just a couple housekeeping items. I would ask anyone in the courtroom, if you do have a phone, which I'm sure everyone does, please silence it so it doesn't interrupt any of the testimony this evening. This meeting is being televised on CATV, Channel 15, here in the Township. Simultaneously, the feed goes out over YouTube Live. If you ever want to refer back to the meeting, you can find that via YouTube. Let's see, item number 3, board members, is the adoptions of the rules and regulations, and I've just highlighted to Ms. Sawant that there's still a number of items that I read in there that still have to be removed. So I'm gonna ask someone to table that, and we'll bring it up at the next meeting so we can have those items removed.
Chairman, if I may.
Go ahead.
I just want to let the board know too that we have the annual zoning report ready. It's just that I've been swamped with the housing plan. So I haven't gotten a chance to review it. The staff has prepared it, but probably at the next meeting, you will get a draft copy. For new board members, it's an annual report which summarizes the applications that were approved last year and the type of applications that were approved or denied. The actually information or the data helps you to make recommendations to the council for any policy changes. So you should have that at the next meeting for review.
Thank you, Ms. Sawant.
No problem.
This evening, before I go any further, I'm just going to announce that Ryan McCarthy, professional engineer, is seated at the end of the dais. Venus Sawant, our professional planner, is seated next to him. And to my right, your left, Pat Varga is of counsel to the board. Other than that, the rest of the board here is members. We'll continue on. Board, I did ask if someone would move to table the 2020
I'll move it.
Zoning Board Adjustment Rules and Regs.
Second.
Is that Ms. Spinelli first?
Yes.
I believe it was. Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes, hopefully we can put that on for February 19th, which is our next meeting. Board members, we have 2 minutes to adopt minutes of January 8th, 2026 meeting. Absent any comments for additions or deletions or typos, I'd ask someone moving for adoption.
Izzo, second?
Mr. Izzo seconds, and was that Ms. Gomez?
Gomez.
Roll call, will you catch up there?
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
No.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes, the same's going to apply minutes of January 22, 2026. Someone move them for adoption?
Izzo?
Is there a second? Roll call, please, when you catch up.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Item 5 on the agenda this evening is resolutions. We have 2. We'll call them in order. 36-2025Z, it's Ivan Ganell. It was a C variance. Counselor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is a resolution approving bulk variance relief for property known and designated as Block 60, Lot 430.11, also known as 430 Bayview Drive. This resolution legitimizes location of a deck, paver, driveway, and paver patio that were previously installed without permits. The variances that are being approved is a 7-foot setback for a deck, where 0 feet is proposed along the front and rear yard, and minimum required landscape area ratio of 45% is required, where 4.85% is proposed, to permit a hot tub as an accessory structure in the front yard, and finally, to permit pavers to be 0 feet from the property line, where 3 feet is required.
Thank you, Mr. Varga. Board members, someone move that for adoption, please?
Andrews, move it.
Is there a second?
Izzo?
Mr. Izzo got that one? Sure. Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez? Yes. Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. 42-2025Z, that's Anasunda and Razia Hashma. It's a design waiver. Mr. Varga?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is a resolution granting design waiver relief for property known and designated as Block 13005, Lot 42, AKA 62 Wesley Road. The design waiver is to permit a driveway that is 73 feet in width, where 30 feet is permitted.
Thank you, Counselor. Someone move it for adoption, please.
Izzo?
Is there a second? Ms. Andrews, second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez? Yes. Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Item 6 is swearing in of professionals. Mr. Varga, once again.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Comes to our only application for this evening. This is a continuance. It's 50-2021Z, OBNJ LLC. This is the EDO 1 zone. This is Block 1069, Lot 1, physical location 69, Highway 35. It's for an apartment addition. Applicant proposes an addition to the first floor of the existing 2-story building and an addition to the second floor, 4 additional apartment units. Applicant seeking major preliminary and final site plan with C and D variances. Salvatore Alfieri, Esquire, for counsel. One more time.
There you go.
Green, sorry. I'll turn that one on, save us. Salvatore Alfieri, Cleary, Giacobbe, Alfieri, and Jacobs on behalf of the applicant. Mr. Chair, this is our third appearance here over the course of well over a year, and this project has evolved. We've worked with your professionals over the course of this year to reduce the scope of the project, where today we're proposing 10 rental apartment units. By way of background, it's a mixed-use building. It's in pretty bad shape. You'll see photographs from our planner momentarily. By approving that use that we have now, which is a mixed-use commercial, and the apartments is grandfathered, protected as a pre-existing nonconformity. So that use is there no matter what. What we're doing is attempting to add a couple of new rental units, and in return for that, we're going to refurbish the place, bring it up to modern standards. The apartment units will be larger. And the other added bonus that the town is going to receive is that 2 of the units are going to be affordable units, which means they'll be deed restricted for 30 years, which is something you don't have now here. These are not deed restricted units, so they could be rented at market rates. So the applicant is adding units, but 2 of them are going to be restricted to affordable, and will comply with whatever UHAC regulations relate to those 2 units. This property also received approvals in the late 80s for 15 apartments, but that approval was never perfected, and therefore they were never built. So we're here today essentially for a 10-unit apartment with the 1 commercial space on the first floor. Since I know there's some new board members, but since we've been here twice already, we're not going to go into elaborate detail on the site plan. But the engineer is going to come up, give you a brief overview of the site plan and what's being proposed. We have an architect who's just simply going to describe the improvements he's making to the exterior and to the apartment units. We have our traffic engineer here for questions. We're not going to call him up because he's with a higher unit count. He provided testimony that the site operates safely and efficiently. We do need to get an NJDOT either permit or letter of no interest. So with fewer units, if it would function with more units, it certainly would function with fewer units. But he's here if you have questions, and then we have a planner who's going to provide the planning testimony.
Yeah, for the record, Mr. Alfieri, when this first started, Mrs. Andrews was here. I was here. Mr. Izzo was here. Mr. Scogno was here. You're not listed on the minutes. Yeah, but this was from the beginning is what I'm talking about. Right from the beginning, the original transcript, you'll see who was listed on
Right.
there. Okay? So I would just appreciate if there would be something by someone to kind of give an overview to the
Yes.
people that are, I'm sure have read all of this, but
Yeah, and our engineer will do that.
thank you very much, appreciate it.
Yes. Jackie? Yeah, and I looked at the transcripts. You were here at the second meeting, not the first one. You didn't miss much, don't worry.
Was she previously sworn?
Twice.
You're good to go.
Right. So, and Jackie, while you're getting oriented, introduce yourself to the board for those members who didn't see you the first two times.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Floor. I'm the president and CEO of Ingenuity Infrastructure, and I'm the civil engineer that prepared and signed and sealed the plans.
Thank you.
Yes, and for the record, Ms. Fleur did testify here on this matter previously. Just introduce yourselves to the board members of what you do.
Sure. So we're a civil engineering firm. I've been on both sides of the dais. We prepare site plans, we design roads, water, sewer, infrastructure, grading, drainage. Everything outside of the footprint of a building is what civil engineers do.
Thanks, and I think that's important to those who watch these meetings at home, so they know what's your expertise and why you're sitting there talking. So thank you, I appreciate you giving that time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you. Jackie, there's a exhibit on the screen before the board. That was the exhibit that your office prepared, correct?
Yes, it is.
Can you just identify what that is so we can mark it, and then you can explain what it depicts?
Sure. So it's a colorized site plan. On this site plan, we turned on some of the landscaping as well, so you could get a feel for where the site is landscaped. But basically, what it is site plan that shows you the variances as well as orients you to the location of the site. We have two different colors shown. One that's the existing footprint of the building, and then you can see the two-story addition, and then you can see that you'll hear from the architect that the entire thing is being renovated. Also shown on this exhibit, you can see the parking lot, you can see the location of the refuse, and then you can see that the proposed site now proposes one-way in circulation and to come out on Rosewood Drive. That's different than the circulation is in the current condition. Currently, that's a two-way drive. We're proposing one way in and one way out in order to provide more parking spaces in order to serve the site. To give you a feel for where the site's located, it's at 69 Highway 35 between Birchwood Drive and Rosewood Drive. I'm going to go through some of the variances, but you're going to hear about the variances from Christine Cafone, the planner. She's going to go through all the proofs. But just to give you a feel, because some of you hadn't heard it before, but first let me start with what we have changed for the ones that were here before, is that we worked with the architect. It's a different architect than the last time we were here, and he actually made the footprint slightly smaller. So the FAR did go down slightly, just slightly. But there were a lot of comments about the size of the units, and you'll hear from him about trying to make sure that they conform with your ordinance, because I thought that sounded like it was very important. So you're going to hear changes like that from the architect. And then as far as the engineering, what changed was there's a guy wire that's right in the front of the site. It's existing. And then rather than have that be a question of will we be able to remove the guy wire, will we not be able to remove the guy wire, we just went ahead and made that area when you come in a little bit easier to make the turn, and we added a bike rack there. So that was really the only thing we
Can you
changed.
explain to the board members who might not be familiar with the guy wire what that is and
So a
what
guy
function?
wire is, if you see a utility pole, have you ever seen the wire that's connected to the utility pole so it doesn't fall? So there's a guy wire that goes into the site, and we were going to try to work with the utility company to see if that guy wire was necessary. rather than leave that question up in the air, we decided let's just make it a larger landscape area and add a bike rack there and leave the guy wire, and so that's what we did.
Ms. Floyd, do you happen to have a pointer?
I do not have a pointer.
Do you have one? I bet you someone does.
Will it go that far?
I have one in my briefcase, which I didn't bring.
Hold on. Can it go that far?
Yes, that worked.
Perfect.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks, Lou.
All right, let's see.
So why don't you point out the area that you were just talking about?
Thanks, I would appreciate
Look
that.
at
Thank you.
Yeah, so this area right here, previously you can see we had a parking stall right there. And as a result, using an engineering term, the curb return radius was pretty tight and the engineer didn't love that. So rather than try to soften it by keeping it where it was and then talk to the utility company about removing the guy wire, we ended up just making it, we had more parking than we needed. So we decided to just lose the parking stall and add the bike rack because there was a request for bike racks anyways. And so that's what we did. And we also were able to increase the landscape area slightly by doing that.
Now, speaking of parking, will we provide EV-ready parking spaces in compliance with the statute?
Yes, right here in the back, those are the EV-ready parking spaces. And then per the statute, 2 of them have to be installed at the time of CO, and so we're going to meet all of those requirements.
Okay, and you mentioned the dumpster. Can you just show the board where the dumpster is?
So the dumpster right here, there were some comments. We have a second exhibit, if you could, I think that we provided that was a turning template exhibit. The engineer did have a few comments, just to make sure we had shown the park.
Let's identify that just so the record's clear.
So
This- Are we marking these as we go?
We marked the site plan as Exhibit A1.
And this will be
the
A2?
Exhibit as Exhibit A2.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jack.
This is A2, and so the engineer had commented that in the previous turning template exhibits, we had shown the cars pulled the whole way up to the curb where their wheels would have hit. He asked if we could pull them to the back just to see if the vehicle could still make its way through. So this is the turning exhibit to show that. We made sure to take the refuse and just angle it slightly just to make sure that no matter what, it didn't impact the vehicle, because I know that that was one of the comments that was in the letter.
And the garbage pickup, it was testified previously as private hauler, so the property manager or owner deals with the private hauler to pick up garbage.
Correct.
And then what about drainage? How does it function now, and how will it change, if at all?
So it actually was a slight decrease in drainage, so we went through all of the drainage with the engineer. There were some comments in the letter about the area, this small area right behind the site. This zooms in, so if we could go to A1, just so you could see the area the full area that he asked about. Yes, so you can hardly see it, but there's about a foot in the back of the property. It might be slightly more. I can look at the exact dimension. Give me 1 second. Of course, it's not jumping out at me. It's a very small area. There it is. It's, well, we're not calling it out, but it's a small area on the back of the site, probably about a foot, right behind the property. He had asked if we could just make sure that it's not holding water there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just grade it either towards this landscape area, or we could take the roof leaders and work with the architect to make sure that no water gets captured in that back area.
And while we're talking about the technical comments in the report, you've had a chance to review the report that was issued by the board professionals February 2nd, correct?
Yes, I have.
And is there anything in this report that you believe you can't address as a condition of approval?
No, we can address all the comments as a condition of approval. And if the engineer had any questions in the letter that he wanted us to address, I think the only thing I wanted to point out is he asked if there was going to be signage. Since we now have this larger landscape area right here, if it would fit and if it met the ordinance requirements, then we would like to have a small sign there, but we would,
Site identification?
yeah, just for site identification of,
Monument style?
yes.
And so if it complies with the ordinance, we would like to be able
So
to.
as part of the compliance plan, is
we've lost your sound.
So as long as it is compliant, we can add it to the compliance approval as well.
Perfect.
And we received a report from the Fire District Number 2 indicating that conceptually the plan is satisfactory. We also received a report from Shade Tree that they've approved the plans as well. And then one final question, and then I'll open it up, obviously, to any questions anyone has, is landscaping you mentioned. Can you just describe what the landscaping is proposed and/or existing?
So there's really not much existing out there. So in order to try to add landscaping, we did add landscaping in this area. If you go out there, this is pretty bermed, and you'll see from the planner that this kind of has some pitch to it. So we added some buffer landscaping in the back. We added shade trees along the Birchwood Drive, and then even along Route 35, we added trees and landscaping along the front. And the same thing with the buffering here, and then up behind the sidewalk and then this will all be lawn, and then this area here will all be lawn.
Thank you. That's all we had. Anything else you needed to cover on your end?
Not unless the engineer wanted me to go through any of the comments.
Yeah, sure. The only quick thing I have, so from this colored site rendering, it looks like there are going to be improvements to the concrete driveway along Route 35, and then on
Yes.
the most recent submitted plan. So I just wanted to get some clarification
Correct.
with the.
Yeah, so you had commented on your letter, so we decided to add that back in.
Perfect.
We do have to get a letter of no interest, and the reason we had taken it off is sometimes DOT doesn't want it a crosswalk unless it's a major driveway, so we had taken it off because we thought we would get that comment, but we figured we're going to them anyways, let's put it on and see what they say.
Perfect. Thank you.
And while you mentioned DOT, there's also a potential that the DOT might want a parking space eliminated at the driveway. Is that possible?
It's possible. Lee Klein, our traffic engineer, when we were talking about the letter of no interest, did point out that this is the travel lane. These are the spaces. We measured it. It's more than 50 feet to the center of the travel lane, so we should be fine. But he has seen applications where if it's less than 50 feet, they won't allow any parking spaces in the drive into the site. So he just wanted us to be aware of that. We have 2 extra spaces, so we would still be fine. But our hope is that it would actually qualify as a letter of no interest, and it won't even go into a minor.
Sure.
Is our hope. But we just wanted to bring that up in case they do comment on it. And they would only comment on it if it got elevated to a minor, which was one of the reasons we started removing improvements in the DOT right away.
Mr. McCarthy, anything else?
I think that's everything I have. Thank you.
Ms. Sawant?
Good evening, board members. I'm going to just give a little more background than Jackie did, only because it's a combination of what's going on the site, as well as it helps with the planning testimony, or to understand the planning testimony better, especially because there are new members on the board. So this application came in 2021, and when it came in, it was for 8 existing units, 1 store, and then there was an addition of 7 more units. To give you a little background, the application was originally filed in 1988, and it was for 17 units. It was denied. It came back to the zoning board the following year with 15 units. The application was approved at that time, but there was a condition that was put in that the construction needs to occur within 3 years. It didn't happen, and that's the only reason why they have to come back to the board, because typically a use variance once granted runs with the land. In the interim, what happened, and I think this is where it is important for you to understand, in the interim, what happened is the township adopted the Economic Development Opportunity Zone. That was in 2015. There were, in the master plan re-examination report that was followed in 13, 15, 17, there were some recommendations to add residential to the EDO zone, but it was never approved by the council. The council specifically eliminated residential. In 2020, because if you look at Old Bridge zoning map, We have 43 zones. I still cannot understand why we have 43 zones. And it has been, I've been on a mission to reduce them, because when I looked at the CN zone, which was neighborhood commercial, and EDO1, economic development opportunity zone, they're identical. They're identical, the purpose is the same. I didn't understand why they were in there. So I eliminated the CN zone completely and replaced it with the EDO1 zone. Now, what happens when the zone for a use change is this use becomes an pre-existing use because it was approved by a use variance, and that is why they need not a new use variance, they need an D2 use variance, which is expansion of an existing non-conforming use. When you as a board are evaluating the use, when it's a use variance, the proofs that are required are much more stringent, because then you have to establish, or you have to conclude whether the site is truly suitable or not. But in this case, the use is already existing. They're expanding it. So to some extent, you've already met the site suitability because it is existing. So the proofs that are required are much less stringent, and I'll let Chris to explain. She's a better teacher. I've heard her, she takes classes. I love listening to her. But as the township planner, I just want you to understand that the proofs required are less. There have been issues with the appearance of this building. If you notice, if you have driven by, it has been pretty outdated. So I feel this is an attempt to update it. In the last 4 years, the reason why this application is being heard after 4 or 5 years is, although you guys only heard it, the old members heard it only once, the applicant has been making a lot of efforts working with us professionals to improve, because when it came in with the 8 units, although they had prior approvals, I kept questioning the density, because the unit size of the existing building was very small. Like, there were units that were 300 square feet, 280 square feet was the lowest, I guess. And I couldn't just understand how you could create units that small. So we went back and forth. The units were reduced from 15 to 13 to 11. So there were numerous iterations, and it is to the applicant's credit to work with us professionals and come up with a product that is much more palatable in terms of density. Typically, we have not allowed residential in any of the EDO zones. So when a zoning board application comes in for EDO, we don't want to set a precedent. But in this case, the building is existing. It's not like you're allowing a new residential building in that zone. So all these factors you have to keep in mind before making a decision. I'm sure the planner will go into details with the other things that they have done to meet the positive criteria and to address the negative criteria. But I just wanted to give you a little background. I know it's detailed in my memo, but I just wanted to summarize. I know Ms. Gomez had questions about the previous approval, and I hope the memo did justice to some of the questions you had. So if there is anything else the board wants to know from me, I'll be happy to help, but that's the little background on this application. And now the applicant's professionals are here to answer any of the other questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Watt. Do you have any questions?
Nothing from me, Mr.
do-
Chairman.
Mr. McCarthy, go ahead.
One quick thing, I just was quickly going through my memo to see. It was comment number 12, it's just, so the commercial use is gonna have 2 designated parking spaces. In our letter, we were just asking if the residential would have designated spaces, or if it's just gonna be,
So we
just,
spoke to the applicant about that, and he's fine putting markings on the pavement to designate. He'd probably designate just one per unit and let the other ones
perfect, okay.
work out as they may, is probably how he would do it.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. I'll start on my left. Questions of this witness?
No questions.
Okay, I'm going to go right up the row.
I would more or less need it for traffic, because the egress and the ingress issue
You have
that I
to
have.
turn your mics on, please.
It is on,
Oh, he's not picking you up.
okay.
The directional.
The traffic engineer will handle the question I
Yeah,
have
we
on
could
the-
bring them up and
Yes,
answer questions,
thank you.
sure.
I just have a question. How many is there right now? You're adding to it, so how many are you
All
actually
the
adding?
reports say there's 8 units, and we're adding 2.
Okay, so you're adding the 2.
We're going, ultimately, it'll be 10 units when we're finished.
Okay. And the pink is the part that you're adding on the bottom floor?
Two-story addition, but the architect will go through that in detail.
Okay.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes, thank you. And the units are broken down by apartments? So how many apartments in a unit?
No, there'll be 10 apartments.
10 apartments?
6 two-bedroom, 4 one-bedroom. The architect will tell you that, but that's.
Right, and the affordable part?
That, within the 10, 2 of them will be
And the
affordable.
parking for them?
Part of the same,
And are you going to have electric vehicle parking?
yes.
How many of those?
There'll be 2 initially, but ultimately, there'll have to be 4 over a 6-year period, but 2 at inception are required.
A charging station?
Yes, 2 will be ready, installed, and then the others will be make-ready for future.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Izzo?
I'm good, thank you.
Mrs. Andrews?
Correct me if I understood. Are you refurbishing it totally inside, so the size of the apartments that are already there are going to be enlarged?
Let the architect, let him answer. He'll give you a
Okay.
better detail
Okay.
than we could.
Thank you. Also, I just wanted to know, did you say there were going to be two commercial spaces for just one commercial space?
One unit, 2 parking spaces. I'm not sure what you're asking. If
One commercial space with 2 parking spaces.
one commercial
Okay,
unit,
the business that's there right now,
One.
the Psychic,
that's it.
how many parking spaces will that
2.
have? They will have 2, okay. And those are going to be marked?
Yes.
Thank you.
Testaverde? No questions, thank you. You did make mention of that, you said the entire site is going to be renovated. Were you referring to the buildings, all the interior buildings, or were you referring to the site itself?
I was
Exterior?
referring to the site itself. I'll have the architect talk about
Okay,
the
that's fine.
interior.
You're going to block the entranceway with concrete, so it's a right-in only coming south on 35?
We were-
To stop anyone from going back out that way?
Right now, we were not. We were taking it directly in, but because it has to go to DOT, DOT may require that. We didn't want to start messing with the driveway until we went to DOT for a letter of no interest to see if they asked us to do that.
And that would be normal, right, Mr. McCarthy?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, any of the improvements within DOT's right away, they're going to require sign off. So I think this is a good plan for now, and then let's see what DOT says down the road.
The front driveway on Rosewood,
Mm-hmm.
you have your pointer, you want to point to that? So the cars that exit there, there's another driveway up, there was another exit way up to the top, is it going to be closed?
Yes, so we had originally proposed to have it over here. We had heard from the board, you didn't like that there, so we got rid of that and moved the refuse here. So we are no longer putting any driveway here.
Okay, so no cars would be up there, right?
None.
Still going to be, it's going to be landscaped, I assume, or
Yes, this
other
is-
than pavement?
Yes, this is all grass, and then this is buffer landscaping, this is landscaping, and this is a sidewalk.
The only entrance out would be the one closest to Route 35.
Yes, this is the entrance out, plus we're proposing sidewalk here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Alfieri,
Architect.
right ahead, sir. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you so much.
Counselor, was he previously sworn?
No, he's new.
Sir, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Frank Martorella III. Last name is spelled Martarella.
And Frank, we're seeking to have you qualified as a licensed architect. Would you place your credentials on the record, please?
Sure. Registered architect in the state of New Jersey since 2010, and I'm the owner and architect of Think Design Architecture.
And you've qualified to
Yes, yeah, I've testified before several boards in New Jersey previously.
Thank you, Mr. Mattarella. Appreciate you putting your credentials on the record. We accept them.
Thank you. And the exhibit, which I assume will mark it, can you identify that exhibit? It will be A3, but identify what we're looking at?
Sure. These are two perspective renderings of what the anticipated improvements of the building will be at the end of the construction. On both renderings, on the left-hand side is the area that's, or the portion of the building that's previously been discussed as being the addition, and the remaining L-shaped portion, if you will, to the right is the existing building, which again will be improved.
And the bedroom, the floor plan and layout of the interior, can you just generally describe for the board the number of bedrooms each would potentially, each will have, and then the sizes of the units?
Sure. Speaking sort of generically, it's definitely a mix of 2 bedrooms and 1 bedrooms. There's no studio apartments, but the exact mix is, as previously mentioned, there will be 6 2-bedroom units and 4 1-bedroom units throughout the building for a total of 10.
And how large are those units?
Oh, sorry. Specifically, each of the units will be, and I'll just run through them quickly. Unit number 1, 647 square feet. Unit 2, 647 square feet. Unit 3, 487 square feet. Unit 4, 649 square feet. Unit 5, 535 square feet. Unit 6, 719 square feet. Unit 7, 480 square feet. Unit
480 or 480?
480? Yeah. Unit 8, 647 square feet. Unit 9, 647 square feet. Unit 10, 480 square feet. And just to backtrack a second, the commercial space is 300 square feet, and there is also a separate laundry room / electrical room, which rounds out at about 73 square feet.
And then when you were revising the plans from what was originally presented to the board, we eliminated some units. So how did you handle that in relation to the floor plan?
Yeah, so the previous submittal, or the previous design had a larger amount of units. I believe at that time, or most recently, it was 11 units. So what we did was we reduced slightly. We reduced the footprint of the 2-story enlargement of the building. We reduced that slightly, and then we also rearranged a lot of the other interior units, but we did specifically and most significantly merged 2 units to create 1 unit. And then again, that's how we got down to 10. And the important thing there is that there were multiple, but there was at least more than 1 unit which was undersized in the building at the time. So by reducing the number of units and rearranging them, we were able to achieve 100% compliance with the requirements for the 1-bedroom and the 2-bedroom room areas.
Now, which units are there units that are existing that are going to remain unchanged? And then there are units, I assume, that are going to be either reconfigured or added. So how many units exist that will remain unchanged?
In truth, almost none. I mean, almost all of the units are being modified in some form or fashion to achieve compliance.
And then I guess that's really all I have for the architect, Mr. Chair.
Mr. McCarthy.
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Wan?
So I do have some comments because I wanted to look at the actual shades of the blue and the materials that are used. I think, do you agree? Do you agree to work with me during compliance to go over the architecturals to finalize them?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, other than that, the building definitely looks much nicer than the existing building. And we can fine tune it during compliance stage. So as part of one of the conditions, should the board act favorably, would be that the applicant agrees to work with the township professionals on finalizing the elevations.
There's an agreement to that, Mr.
Yes.
Alfieri?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Counselor?
Nothing from me, Mr.
I'm
Chairman.
going to start on my left again, and we'll come right back down the aisle.
No questions. No questions, sorry.
Ms. Gomez?
No questions.
Ms. Spinelli?
The affordable housing part, I might have missed it. Is it the same size rooms compared to the others?
Yeah, we have to work with Vina and your affordable housing administrator to select, you are, okay, to select which units she's going to require that are going to be the affordable designated ones. So we'll work with her and
Thank you.
I could tell you, we're not offering up the largest units to be affordables. I could tell you that, but we'll work with her.
The only thing is, since the affordable housing came up, I just wanted, it's not a 30-year deed restriction, it's a 40 when it
40
is
now,
rental,
around 40,
based on the new regulations, and I'm sure you agree to
Yes.
the deed restriction.
And I think I don't know what the bedroom mix is gonna be required.
Go through the UHAC requirements for
So
that.
whatever it is, it'll be either or both. So it might be 2 2s, it might be 1 and 1, we don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
later.
And one more question. The present business that is there, I don't think that it's allowable, according to what I read. What is it, a psychic?
It's a psychic. Yeah, I think it's definitely permitted there. It's been operational, so.
I didn't see anything that said that was permitted.
I can confirm the use is permitted. The mixed-use building is not permitted, but the actual commercial use that is being proposed, because the EDO 1 zone ordinance has retail, sale, and services. This comes under services. It also allows a number of professional offices and similar type of uses. So it is a permitted use, so I can confirm that.
Mr. Rizzo.
Satisfied, I'm satisfied.
Mrs. Andrews?
Please bear with me, but I see stairways. That is not the only way they're going to get into their apartments, correct?
There's actually 3 staircases that lead up to the second floor, so yes, the
So
second
that's the
floor.
only way up, there's nothing internally inside the building?
There's
The-
one interior staircase
One?
in the front corner, sort of next to that commercial use. That is a staircase that is a dedicated staircase to one apartment alone on the second
Just to one
floor.
apartment. The others, other staircases are to the other apartments?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Ms. Testaverde? While I know you agreed to work with the planning department, is that still brick and colored, or is it going to be a different facade?
Totally different facade, all the finishes.
That's
on
fine,
the-
that's fine, thank you.
Okay.
I have no further questions.
Thank you. We're going to call our traffic expert, Lee.
Appreciate your testimony, sir.
Thank you.
Council, my same question. Previously sworn?
He has been sworn.
I was here, yes, back in,
It's been a while.
June of '23.
June 1st.
Few birthdays ago.
And just introduce
Still,
yourself.
still a professional engineer. My name is Lee, middle initial D as in Daniel, Klein, Klein. I'm a professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. My license is current. I'm also a nationally certified professional traffic operations engineer, and I'm the traffic engineer for this project.
And your specialty is handling the traffic aspects of these types of applications.
That's correct. Traffic, parking, and the DOT deal.
Thank you. He
Yeah,
was qualified
Mr.
previously.
Klein's been qualified at the last meeting, and certainly
Thank you.
we recognize his expertise. Thank you.
So Lee, can we go back to A1, please? So Lee, first explain to the board the DOT jurisdiction aspect of this application.
So whenever you touch anything within the DOT right-of-way, being the curb, sidewalk, driveway, handicap ramps, things like that, you need to go to DOT for a permit. So we're trying not to modify anything within the DOT right-of-way. So technically, we're asking for a letter of no interest. We're going to ask for that letter of no interest, and as Ms. Fleur said, we've got those 2 parking spaces that we think are well outside of the 50-foot distance from the edge of the travelway into the site, so that shouldn't be an issue. And we're not modifying it other than it being from a 2-way enter-exit to an enter-only. And that actually should be something better that DOT should be happy with. So hopefully they'll give us that. If not, we're going to have to get a minor permit to be able to make it just an entrance only.
Okay, and then how will the exit on Rosewood function?
So the exit on Rosewood, because of the angles of the parking, everybody's going to be oriented toward Rosewood Drive. If you want to go south on 35, come out to Rosewood, make the right onto 35. If you want to go back to the north or cross over, you'll go through the neighborhood. I think it's called Pine Island. Yeah, Pine Island Terrace, loop around, come back to Birchwood, come to the signal at Birchwood, and either make a left or right or go straight across.
Okay, and you had testified previously that the driveways operated, well, did you ever testify to the Rosewood location that's currently up there now, or was?
That's the way the site plan looked when I was.
Okay, so you testified earlier that both access points would operate safely and efficiently previously with more units?
Correct, yes, yeah. I mean, the trip generation changes by one trip in the afternoon, stays the same in the morning. Saturday, I think, is just about the same as well. So we're talking about 7 trips, 2 in, 5 out in the morning peak hour, 8 trips in the PM peak hour. That's 1 hour between 4 and 6 PM. The AM is 1 hour between 7 and 9 in the morning, 8 trips. And then on a Saturday, 8 trips, 4 in, 4 out on 1 hour during the peak hour. So
That's your highest traffic.
that's the residential portion. And the commercial part is not changing, so that's going to remain the same.
So really all we had of the traffic engineer, unless you have specific questions for him.
Mr. McCarthy first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few quick comments that I just wanted to just get some things on the record for. The original, because this goes back to 2023, the original traffic impact study that was completed was under the 5th generation of the ITE. So just to put on the record, the 6th edition, there's no significant change to the traffic that's proposed.
That's
in
the
site.
parking generation.
Yes,
Yeah, I
correct.
mean, we meet the parking requirement. So I don't even remember why I went into the ITE numbers, because we have the 1.8 for the 4 units and the 6 for
Sure,
the
certainly.
6 units. I'm sorry, 2 for each of the 6 units. So we meet the parking requirement.
Perfect. And the other, just one other comment we had in our letter, for a loading zone, it's one of the waivers that's required. If you could just talk about what the, I guess, more or less why it's not necessary for a loading zone with the commercial use that's on site, what the expected deliveries are, type of vehicles, things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, deliveries, we're talking about UPS, FedEx, Amazon, food deliveries, Uber, drop-off, pickup, things like that. Most of those vehicles will fit within a parking spot. The move in and move out, somebody's going to maybe rent a U-Haul, the small box truck, or they're going to borrow their parents' minivan and move some furniture in like that. If a piece of furniture has to come from some sort of a store or something, they'll be able to find a spot to park there temporarily and offload that. But we do have that striped area, right? So that's a striped area there, right? Jackie, is that a striped
I believe
area?
that's a fire lane.
It's fire lane, yeah, so we can't park in that, right, okay.
That's all my comments. Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. What?
I have no comments.
Counselor?
Nothing for me, Mr. Chair.
I'll start on my left.
I'm curious. The EV parking spots, that's mandated?
State law, yes, correct.
So we have 3 EVs, 4
4
EV
altogether.
parking places,
2 initially.
2 initially,
Two
and then
initially.
2 make ready, where they put the equipment in.
and 1 handicapped.
1 for the first 25, you need 1 handicap spot. That's correct.
Seems a little off kilter, but
That's,
okay.
that's a federal law, actually,
Okay,
the
got
handicap,
it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Ms. Gomez?
I have a question. On the ingress and the egress. Yes, it is on, sorry. On the ingress and egress on Rosewood, Rosewood is a one-way up. How does it come out to 35? I live on that side.
Rosewood is one way toward 35.
No, the other way, up through. It doesn't come out, it goes up. That's why I'm concerned, because
Oh,
I
okay.
drove up there the other day, and it has one-way signs, everything.
Oh, I don't remember seeing that. I mean, to me,
Yes,
there's,
I do have it on my phone.
yeah, all right, I'll look
Hang
on
on
my
a
phone
second, let me
too,
pull it
yeah.
up. I have a video of it, hold on.
So then, everybody that comes out of this site will have to make a right onto Rosewood and go through the
And
neighborhood.
then you
That's
go
fine.
up to Pine
Yeah, that's correct.
Island Terrace, yeah,
That's fine,
okay. I just
right.
wanted to make sure, because when I went through there, and then I had a discussion with somebody else, and they're like, no, it was initially a 2-way. I was like, no, it's a 1-way. I just want to confirm that. Because if you're coming out on Rosewood onto 35, you're going to get hit.
I do see that the cars are parked all facing,
Yeah,
but they're facing Route 35.
it's crazy. There's signage up there that says 1-way.
So when you get to Pine Island, you can't
No,
make a,
it's all one. When you're coming in,
all
when
right.
I turned onto Rosewood, there is a stop sign, and on top, it's a 1-way facing this way. into Rosewood.
But no, that's the one way to tell you that Route 35 is one way.
No, the other way.
Yeah, because I never noticed that because I've seen cars primarily facing the highway.
They park,
Yeah.
they
Well-
park all over the place up there. I live on the other side down by Dunkin' Donuts, and they all have their own way of parking.
All right, well, either way, and then I guess the question is, we should maybe work with your engineer.
Just make sure that it's correct.
Yeah.
If someone's coming out the other way, you know they're getting hit.
If it is one way and we have to put
Yes.
some kind of curbing to make sure they don't make that
Right turn
left.
only, yeah.
Just
do
like when
that.
they're going into there, they have to be careful because you're gonna have a car rear end you
I agree.
immediately.
So we'll work with your engineer and make sure
Thank
that
you.
that's safe.
my concern.
Well, we'll sort that out. Yeah, we could check with the police department, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
because there's definitely confusion. We don't agree it's one way, but whatever it is, it is. Yeah, well, whatever the police department say, we'll confirm that, though.
And just very quickly too, and this is from Google Street imagery from 7 years ago. There is a double yellow striping at the intersection at Route 35, which would typically indicate that it's a two-way. But certainly we'll work with the applicant's team to make sure that that's taken care of.
I never saw Lee stumped, so that was good. Proud of you.
I purposely looked at it first to see how they would get out.
Ms. Gomez? Okay, that's fine. Ms. Spitaleri? Good.
Satisfied?
Mrs. Andrews?
No.
No way.
Thank you.
Mr. Testaverde? What was the total parking on the property?
21.
21?
Yes, 11 and 11, yeah, 11 facing
That's
the
by
highway.
RSIs?
So 19 is actually required.
Right.
And 21 is provided, and that's including the EV credit that gets applied for each
So you
space.
could have exposure to 32 adults living there, though, right?
I mean, it's
All 6 two-bedrooms, because it's either two or four, times 6 is 24, plus 4 one-bedrooms, which
Right.
could be 4 people up to 8 people.
right, but if
No, I understand, I'm just saying, there's exposure of 32 driving people.
possibly, but if you're looking for an apartment here and you're only getting 1 or 2 parking spots and you need 3, you're going to have to go someplace else.
So what you said the total is?
We have 2, we have just about more than 2 per unit, yeah. We have
That
19.
number is? What was the number?
19 physical?
Yeah.
No, 21 physical. 21 physical spaces.
21 is required, and 19 if you do the credit with the EV. That
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's all. Just planning next, that's it. Sure. Christine?
Are you okay? You want to take a quick, would you like to
knows I
take a
talk
quick?
fast.
Oh, okay.
Preparing.
I see. This isn't on the
Getting
record,
ready.
right?
It's not her first rodeo. You and me both, my friend.
All right, let's get back on the record here, please.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name, spell your last for the record.
It's Christine Nazaro, Nazzaro, Cofone, Cofone. Business address is 52 Reckless Place, Red Bank, New Jersey, 07701. I'm testifying this evening as a licensed professional planner. I am in my 30th year as practicing as such in the state of New Jersey. I have been qualified here in Old Bridge as well as hundreds of other zoning, planning and zoning boards throughout the state of New Jersey. I teach planning and zoning courses for the Rutgers Center for Government Services. I'm a court-appointed affordable housing special master, and my licenses are current and valid.
Thank you, and I appreciate that for those that may be at home and not know you, but if they've ever watched, you're usually appearing here weekly, so.
Yes, regularly, here and many other places.
We certainly recognize your expertise and your licensing, and
Thank you, Chairman. And essentially what I do as a planner is, like, I am the Miss Sawant for the applicant. So what we do as planners is we look at the zoning and then we determine compliance of the application with the zoning. So in this particular application, even though there's a mixed use on the property today, or a mixed use building on the property today, the EDO1 zone that we're in doesn't allow that use. The reason we don't have to seek a D1 use variance and we are seeking the D2 is because it's an expansion of a non-conforming use. We are not looking to establish the use, it's already there. But we are looking to expand it, so that's why we need a D2. I would agree with Ms. Sawant there. And that's a difference with the distinction because the proofs are different. When you hear the planner talk about on a D1 use variance, you'll usually hear things like particular suitability and Medici reconciliation. Here, we're guided by the Burbridge case, which essentially says the focus should be on the negative criteria. And even then, according to Burbridge, the negative criteria should be looked at with greater liberality. And why is that? Is that because the use is already accustomed to the neighborhood is already accustomed to the use because it's there. The other D variance that we're seeking in conjunction with this application is a D variance for floor area ratio. So what that means is we exceed the FAR of, I believe it's 0.20 is required in the zone, and we're at 0.33. Similarly, when you're dealing with a D4 for FAR, the burden of proof that the applicant has to offer is that the site can handle the excess FAR that is being proposed by the application. In addition to that, we need a number of bulk variances that primarily relate to existing conditions. The lot area is undersized at 0.49 versus 1. The lot width is deficient at 125 versus 90. The front and side yard setbacks are both deficient. The front yard setback is required to be 30 feet. The existing building is 5. And the side yard setback is at 1.5 feet where 25 feet is required. That is also somewhat of a new variance because where the building addition is being proposed, it will respect that same 1.5 side yard setback. So it could be looked at as a new variance because even though it's in the same, that building's getting a little bit bigger in that area. But we're also seeking a variance for the trash in the front yard and for buffering and for the landscape area ratio. So I think, you know, when you look at this application, I think the hashtag for the application could be better is better, right? This site is an existing developed site, and I went out and had our office put together a photo exhibit, which is up on the board. Sal, should we mark this?
A4.
So when we look at A4 in evidence, right, which is photos that were taken under my direction by my office, because I think to say that the site lacks curb appeal is an understatement. So I think that what's proposed is a substantial improvement over what's there. The other thing I'll tell the board is that we were originally, in conjunction with this application, seeking relief for the size of the units, of the residential units, and your planner found that to be very not much in support of that. So we've corrected that. So now all of the size of the units actually comply with your ordinance. And additionally, we're parked per RSIS, and we are adding hundreds of plantings onto the site and substantially upgrading the architecture and the curb appeal. So all those things for me point to the fact that the site can handle the excess FAR that we are proposing, and also that the D2 expansion can certainly be granted. So as far as the positive criteria or the purposes of the municipal land use law that are advanced by this application, I think there are 3. Criteria A talks about promoting the general welfare. This is what we would consider now an inclusionary housing development. And I say that is because 2 of the units, so 2 of our 10 units, you will be able to claim credit for them in your housing plan that Ms. Sawant is actively working on. So today, even though those units might be somewhat affordable, they don't count to your affordable housing obligation because they're not deed restricted and they don't meet UHAC. So I agree that we will be subject to a 40-year, not a 30-year deed restriction. The 4th round is very clear that we are it will be a 40-year deed restriction. So I think that here we can rest on promoting the general welfare because we are providing affordable housing units that will be deed restricted, that will be credit worthy for your housing plan. I also think criteria E, which talks about establishing an appropriate population density, can be advanced here. I think the site can support the density that we're proposing, and I think that the betterments of the site are substantial. And I also think that criteria M, which talks about an efficient use of the land, that's a good segue into the negative criteria too, because when you look at the permitted uses in the EDO1 zone, it's a myriad of some, fairly intense commercial and retail-type uses, even including some light industrial and warehousing storage type uses are permitted here, and would be tough to adaptively reuse a 0.49 acre site, right? Like, we're just under half of what the zone envisioned. So it would be a difficult adaptive reuse for a conforming or as-of-right use in the EDO1 zone. So I don't think that this is an opportunity to really implement the EDO1 zone in any meaningful way, and I think that the application that the board has before it tonight is certainly a nice adaptive reuse of the property that actually gives you the opportunity to really upgrade the experience on site for the residents that are living there and for future residents of the property. So I see no substantial detriment to the zone plan or the public good if the board were to grant this, this application. And I think we substantiate our burden of proof with respect to the D2 as well as the D4 and any other ancillary bulk buffer and landscape area ratio requirements.
That's all we have of the planner, Mr. Chair.
Pretty short for you.
It is, I know. I know you guys have a schedule to keep
Mr.
tonight.
McCarthy.
No comments from me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Sawant?
I don't have any comments. I think I covered everything in my memo as well as my testimony.
I think you did as well, and I appreciate what you told the board early on in this application. I'm sure that Ms. Cathone agrees with what you put on the record. I'm going to start on my left as far as members. We'll go down to Ms. Fernbach. All right, Ms. Gomez.
No question.
No.
Satisfied.
Ms. Andrews.
That concludes our presentation, Mr. Chair. Oh,
Hold on.
That's okay.
Mrs. Andrews
sorry.
has something.
I'm small.
time.
Presently, how many tenants are there?
There are 8 apartment units presently.
And they're all filled? There's no vacancies?
There might be, I know that they had a problem, tenant who was causing the town and my client a lot of grief that was evicted. That unit might be vacant now. One vacancy.
One vacancy. And normally, what are the leases, what are the terms of the lease? How many years would they be?
I don't know.
Just so you know, we're not allowed to restrict or limit
I'm
leases.
sorry. I'm
or
sorry.
What they're charging, any of that, it's kind of
Okay,
outside.
I apologize.
No.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be a bed and breakfast or some type
No,
of a
no,
thing.
no, definitely not. That would not be permitted.
Okay, thank you. And I apologize, I didn't realize.
No
restricted.
apology necessary.
Yeah, and that would be covered by the resolution, the fact that what it is, it's livable apartments.
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde? Okay. I don't have anything to add to your testimony.
Thank you. I
For-
used Ms. Tawant's February 2nd report. An excellent day. The birthday of myself, Mr. Alfieri's son and wife. It's an
February 2nd.
extraordinary day. Groundhog's Day.
Groundhog Day. All right. And I read hers too, it was very good. You have any further witnesses?
That's all we have,
Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Alfieri?
That's it.
I'm going to go to a public portion.
Please.
Let me get the number. This page. 50-2021Z. That's how long this was started in 2021. This matter is at 65 Highway 35 for a expansion of a small apartment units there. Anyone wish to be heard in this matter, please rise or raise your hand. This will be the only opportunity to make any comments. If you have any, now would be the time. No one has stood or raised their hand. I'm going to close the public portion. Mr. Alfieri, final
Thank you.
comments?
Yeah, just finally, just by very a brief summary, this was a long evolution to get to a product that I think everyone benefits, particularly the town. The end result is that the increase in density is going to be an affordable housing benefit to the town, and we've presented all the necessary proofs to support the variance relief, and we've agreed to work with the board professionals to address their technical comments, and we'd request that you approve the application.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to just make sure that the board doesn't have any questions before we move forward. I'm assuming you're going to call for a vote.
Please.
I'm going to start on my left. I'm not calling for a vote here. I'm merely asking if there's anything you want cleared up while the professionals are here that is on your mind before we go for a vote.
The exit street, you are going to clarify whether that's a one-way, correct? That's, okay.
Yes, we'll confirm with the police department, and if it is one way, we'll address the access way so that your engineer is satisfied that people can't make illegal left turns towards the highway.
Thank you.
Ms. Gomez, anything?
No questions,
Nope.
hon.
Spinelli? No questions. None. I don't have any. I'm glad to see that we've finally reached some sort of a conclusion here. I was very concerned, and when I read the new plan that you were putting forward, I was happy to see that those undersized units had now been a fair amount for people to live in. The other ones I thought would not be, but that's just my personal opinion. I think that you put a great plan together. I think it's a win-win. It's obviously a win-win for the, if it's approved by the board for the owner, and I think it's a win for the township too. There's great curb appeal that was lacking there. And from what I see, it looks like it's going to fulfill that. So I think the enhancements there help the neighborhood as well. And I think it will help those who either live there now or will be living there in the future. So I'm going to look forward to supporting this. We'll see how the board feels about the matter. Any further comments from anybody on my right? Mrs. Andrews?
Yes, the letter of no interest.
That will have to,
Into the resolution?
that will have to be because because it is on a state highway. They have no choice but to apply for that. Anyone else? None?
And just for clarity, it's either a letter of no interest or a DOT permit, whatever the DOT requires, we have to do.
Satisfied? Okay. All right. Counselor, anything?
Nothing from me, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Before we go, why don't you, I know we're going to have a D2, followed by D4, and then bulks.
So it's all going to be one resolution, Mr. Chairman. It's going to be a resolution for preliminary and final major site plan approval for D2 use variance as well as a D4 density variance, as well as the bulk variances as summarized by Ms. Cafone.
Okay? with that,
Agreed,
Counselor?
agreed.
Agreed? Okay. Is someone interested in moving this? So you're moving the D2, the expansion of nonconforming use?
Mr. Izzo.
Mr. Rizzo? Is
Gomez.
there a second?
Gomez.
Moved in second. Roll call, please. That's the D2.
It's for everything,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chairman.
I'm sorry. It's all together.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
So that's for everything.
It's for all, yeah.
Okay. So that was Izzo and Gomez, I'm sorry.
It is.
Okay. Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes, I cannot wait to see it.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yeah, as for all the aforementioned reasons, obviously, yes.
Thank you very much, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for the
Yes.
the board professionals worked it into a really good project for
Right,
everyone.
I'm looking forward to you working with them for any of that coloration or whatever the
Yes.
outside service. And
Will do.
again, thank you and all your professionals.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mr. Alfieri.
That's why you're a very smart man. Oh, woman, you're a very smart man. You listen. You really are.
See if they're clear, if there's any doubt. What's that? Yeah, we're going to come back for an executive session.
Yeah.
Hey, could we go off the record, please, for a short recess? right, we have returned from recess. I'd ask for a roll call, please, Ms. Burchelli?
Certainly. Ms. Andrews?
Present?
Ms. Gomez?
Present.
Mr. Izzo?
Here?
Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here.
Ms. Testaverde?
Present.
Chairman Sullivan?
Here.
Mr. Varga? Ms. Sawant?
All right, there is no one left in the courtroom this evening from the public, so under item 8, under general public comments, I'm going to move forward and close that matter because no one is here to offer any. With that, I'm going to ask for an executive session, that we can go into executive session for litigation and personnel matters. Someone move that? Is there a second?
Testaverde.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm sorry, who was second? Was it Testaverde or Andrews?
Oh, you can give Testaverde.
That was Ms. Testaverde. Okay, we're going to go into executive session, so we'll be leaving the TV, and we will not be returning this evening.